This is one of the really important points when I'm talking to younger people who are earlier in their careers. You're not supposed to know what you want to be.
Right. You
You're
have
not
no idea
supposed
where
to.
your path is going to lead, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you're at the beginning, it really is, I mean, at the beginning or the middle or the end,
Yeah.
it really is about figuring out what do you enjoy about what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
What do you not enjoy?
Mm-hmm.
And then take that information and do something with it.
Right. Right. And I think because of all the things we just talked about, I think people, that's why it's so common for people to find themselves unhappy in their roles
Right.
or unhappy in their careers, right? Because they were forced to make a decision so early on. And then they looked around and said, I'm miserable. I'm in a cubicle and, I'm punching numbers and I don't know what this is
Mm-hmm.
doing, right? So my next question is, how do you see and embrace, and why should you embrace career dissatisfaction?
Yes, career dissatisfaction is such an important source of information. I think we tend to shy away from feeling that because it's uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
also, there's this whole like positivity movement that like you should focus on what you're grateful for instead,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, which, as a positive psychology tool, it's super effective. But if you don't pay any attention to or acknowledge the fact that you're dissatisfied, that you're missing out on a really big source of insight into yourself. And so if you do pay attention to what you're not happy about, right? Like I noticed that in my own career, I was I knew that I didn't want to work for anybody else. Even though I was in corporate America, you're talking about how we're forced to make decisions before we're really ready. That was me when I was like 20 years old and
Mm-hmm.
graduating from school and kind of like, uh-oh, what do I do now? And the best option was to get a job in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I always knew I wanted to be in business for myself. I just didn't know for what or to do what. And I
Or how to
spent a really
start.
long
Yeah.
time uh, trying to improve that for myself. I, increasingly rose through the ranks and tried to become an entrepreneur or try to start my own initiatives in the teams. And it just wasn't working. And ultimately, it took me recognizing for myself that there was no way that I would be happy unless I actually didn't have a boss anymore. And there was no way that I was going to be able to fix that, regardless of how good things were in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, if I hadn't paid attention to that, I'd probably still be in an office right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And not going after the things that matter to you, but
Exactly.
helping someone else fulfill their priorities.
That's a hard no. That's a hard